Let's bring in Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host. You can also listen to his podcast, Unbuttoned, former NFL and Texas quarterback. Why wasn't Diego Pavilla drafted?
There's a lot of reasons to that. One, smaller quarterback. I think the league is a little down on smaller quarterbacks right now. Two, when he had to play within the pocket, it's underwhelming to watch him in those scenarios. He's not a high-level thrower of the football. He plays a style and is most successful when it's backyard-type football, but yet he's not very fast either. And then he plays small. And then also on top of that, Dan, nobody wants to bring in their practice squad, third-string quarterback who likes to make headlines for the wrong reasons at times. And I think all of those situations are why, he wasn't drafted this weekend.
I know I spent a lot of time Thursday and Friday on this story, and that's Ty Simpson going to the Rams.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand the strategy of taking a guy for a team that might be the best team in football, with apologies to Seattle, but you're taking a guy who, best case scenario, doesn't help you this year and maybe not next year. So why take him that high, given that I had a couple of offensive weapons? Sadiq was there, Lemon there, Devontae Adams is 34.
Exactly.
So help me understand the philosophy there.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna, because I can't understand it either. I mean, I certainly wouldn't have done it. That was not what I was for. I mean, again, listen, you can still hear. You hear it? Those are the Seahawks and the 49ers. They're still cheering that the Rams took Ty Simpson. I mean, yes. I mean, because you said it. They're the second best team in football last year. By all due accounts, if they go to the Super Bowl, they're going to beat the Patriots. They were a better football team. So, yeah, you looked at that pick 13, and I know the whole league and the NFC West especially was like, oh, my gosh, the Rams got pick 13. I think there was some thoughts there that they were like, oh, gosh, I'm scared they're going to trade into the top 10 and really get some splash-type player to add to their awesome football team on top of that. So, yeah, listen, I know it was an extra pick they had from the Atlanta Falcons trade, and they probably feel like they're playing with house money. But, man, you're in a Super Bowl window right now. Matthew Stafford's playing phenomenal football, like you said. Ty Simpson's a guy, again, smaller. I don't think he was anybody viewed him as a top 20 pick in the NFL draft. And the league is a little down on those type of guys like I'm telling you about. And he hasn't played a lot of football to where now he's going to sit on the bench and not play football for a little bit while longer. That's, to me, the part that doesn't quite make sense. And I'll throw this out there too, Dan. I mean, for a guy like Matthew Stafford, this is only going to motivate him to play one more year extra. Oh, you think you're going to tell me when I'm going to retire? And, oh, damn, you didn't want to waste a pick like you said, Mekhi Lemon? I mean, Devontae Adams is not what he used to be, and he's 34, and he gets injured. So, yeah, that was not my favorite pick, and certainly is still a head-scratcher to me, and by all due accounts, Sean McVay's reaction on Thursday night as well.
I'm trying to understand the Cardinals' philosophy with Jeremiah Love, that I get it. You got to have a face for the franchise. McBride is great. We're still waiting for Harrison to be something. You don't have a quarterback. He's too talented to pass up. I just don't know if that's the right team for him at the right time. And then you go out and you get Carson Beck later, who is probably going to see the field. Aside from Mendoza, Carson Beck is probably the next quarterback who's going to be playing this season.
It wouldn't shock me. Jacoby Brissett, I expect him to be there, be the quarterback. I think Arizona went like the route of like, we're not going to make this all about the quarterback. Just because we need one doesn't mean we're just going to pick one, and one that we don't necessarily like high in the draft like a Ty Simpson. I never got the sense they would do that. Again, they were a team that was kind of burned by the smaller type quarterback. I worked in New England with Monte Ossenford. I mean, the philosophical thought at the quarterback position in New England, and I believe Monty believes in that, is that bigger quarterbacks. That's traditionally what they had. I think that's what he believes in. Now, where it's good, Dan, is this. This is Mike LaFleur. He's a run game expert, and he he knows how to use the running back. Being from Shanahan, being from McVay, his brother up in Green Bay, trading for Josh Jacobs, adding him to the offense. They're going to know how to use him not only in the run game and the pass game. And then they got a decent O-line. They got something forming here. So I think what they're kind of doing is just building the team, and then hopefully next year they can strike while the iron's hot and finally get their quarterback of the future. But for now, that wasn't there, and they went with the best offensive player on the board and a guy that has a chance to be Marshall Faulk if they can support him the right way with the team around him.
Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, and his podcast entitled Unbuttoned. It's rare when we say this, but the Jets seemed to have a good draft. But who had a better draft, the Giants or the Jets?
Ooh, I mean, they both, to me, are at the top, okay? They're at the top. Like, if you gave me stars, and I'm going to do this on my podcast a little bit later, I'm going to tell you the New York Giants and the New York Jets were two of the best drafts there is. Now, let me just say this right off the bat, because the Jets was phenomenal. 3 first-round picks. I liked them all. And they're going to help their football team, and it stays consistent with what the Jets have done all offseason, which was signing veteran players that can make them good right now, because if they're not good right now, their butts are hot on the hot seat there. They got to make it work. And I think the guys they drafted can help them out right away. Now, the Giants, of course, I love that draft. And this is where people are missing out on this Arvell Reese conversation. Okay, so Arvell Reese, yes, he has a chance to beat Micah Parsons. But as we know, Micah Parsons played a lot of middle linebackers first year with the Dallas Cowboys. I know everybody's looking at it right now going, wait, they have pass rushers. I get it. Okay, well, here's the first thing. The best, everybody talks about Sonny Styles, and I tried to emphasize this on my Chris Sims Unbuttoned podcast. The best middle linebacker in the draft was Arvell Reese. All right, so as freaky as everybody told you about Sonny Styles, he was the second best linebacker on his football team. Arvell Reese is the best middle linebacker to come out in football in quite some time. So you have that right off the bat, and that's where I think some Giant fans are missing. So he's there. He's starting. He's going to be phenomenal there. And then they can slowly work him in. Kayvon Thibodeau has 1 year left playing there. So he'll be the third rotational guy. It'll be Abdul Carter. It'll be Brian Burns, Arvell Reese in the middle, Kayvon Thibodeau subbing in for the guys on the edge. Next year, Arvell Reese will play a little bit more edge, and they'll continue to infuse that to where 2 or 3 years from now, it'll be Arvell Reese and Abdul Carter on the edge, and we'll see where Brian Burns is. As you know, 2 or 3 years for a guy like that, it's a long time. So I love the Giants draft, but I'd love the Jets too. And I'd probably give the Giants the edge, honestly, Dan.
Yeah, I think the Jets did a great job in drafting for next year, that they didn't reach for anybody.
Exactly.
They're like,
right.
We'll figure out the quarterbacking situation. Let's just make the team better. And I go back to Bill Cowher's quote when he was with me last week in Pittsburgh. He said, when we were getting ready to draft Ben Roethlisberger, we had already made ourselves a really good team. Right. So the quarterback came into a good team instead of let's build around the quarterback and have him try to make, like Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they're building the team. It's a good enough team that he comes in instead of saying, hey, you're the number 1 pick. Go out there and be a savior.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. And see, that's the way I was trying to kind of explain to Arizona, and you said it a better way there. I don't think the Jets weren't going to be, we're going to reach and take a quarterback we don't like just because everybody says we need a quarterback. No, they're going, wait, we got Geno. Geno's damn good if you can help him out a little bit. Same with the Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett. Let's build the team, and then if Arch Manning's there next year, boom, he's ours, and he could come in and be really good right away because we got the support around him. And, we've had too many times in history where you just said it, like we get the quarterback and you go, okay, but the rest of the team stinks. It doesn't matter if it's Superman or whoever, John Elway, they're not going to be very good with this team. And I think we've seen this. Detroit took the let's build the team and we'll grow Jared Goff behind that. The Seattle Seahawks, what did they do? It wasn't like, Sam, save us, Sammy. It was like, all right, our team's good. Let's bring in Sam. He'll help us out. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles, they never made it like, it's Jalen Hurts, and then we're going to figure it out. They were like, damn, our team's good, and now we got Jalen Hurts, and he'll fit into it. So I think that's the right approach, and I think too many organizations do quarterback before the team, and you're seeing one here where it's team first, like you're pointing out.
And I keep mentioning this probably ad nauseum. That is, these are the kind of drafts that you look back in 2 or 3 years and you say, how did that team get so good? it's because you're drafting players that aren't making headlines. They're not, sexy names.
Exactly.
You're just like all of a sudden, it's a Puka Nakua in the 5th round, and you're like, man, how was he a first-round pick? Like, these are the things that I try to tell people. You can win later with drafts like this.
Totally.
That's what I think the value of this is. Like the Chiefs quietly went out and I think had a good draft. They got defensive play, like they revamped their defense in one draft. Now you can say, did they go up maybe too high to get the defensive back
Mansour Delane?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
but if I'm Steve Spagnuolo, I'm like, man. Thank you. Christmas in April here that we got. So those are the little things that happen with some of these teams where you go quietly, they tap you on the shoulder and they go, keep an eye on us this year or next year.
That's right. You build, you build teams really, again, the success rate of the 2nd and 3rd round picks is greater than the success rate of the 1st round picks. And with your Chiefs thing, that was a calculated chance. And Dan, I'll sit here and tell you, somebody's going to have to prove me wrong. I don't think they were trading up for Mansour Delane. They didn't think the Giants were going to take Arvell Reese, so they were going, oh, my gosh, we're going to get Arvell Reese at number 6. The Giants aren't going to do that. They have enough pass rushers, right? But yet they knew if the Giants took him, wait, there's another guy we really love there that we need. So that's smart team building. And they made a move at a calculated chance and risk there, right? So, but yeah, the success rate of the 2nd and 3rd round picks is greater than the 1st round picks. We've seen the Rams with F them picks, but yet still build their team with great 3rd and 4th and 5th round picks, to your point there. And the other thing we're seeing, and you kind of hit on this just a little, the 1st round has become less about, oh, this guy is awesome at this one thing, but we got some other questions. We're not sure. We're seeing guys like, I will say, like guys like Mekhi Lemon and Omar Cooper. I think 10 years ago, they're not 1st round picks. They're not. They're not really explosive or sexy that way, but they're good. They make you feel warm and cozy because they came from a good school with a good emblem and they played in some big games. And you just go, wait, the floor's high, the ceiling might not that be high, but there's not a bust factor. And GMs have realized, like, if I draft bust, I get fired. If I draft guys that nobody can call or bust, I might be able to stick around a little longer. And I think the NFL's taken that approach in the 1st round more here now.
What's next on the football schedule here?
Well, for me personally, I mean, I'm just happy I don't have to watch film and make lists and do, rank this position and watch the 27th ranked defensive tackle in the draft. But now I just get to sit back, enjoy the news, and kind of just react. So it's just OTAs and mini camps from here now, Dan.
And Aaron Rodgers.
What's that?
And Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and Aaron Rodgers. That's the story that never dies. It's been going on for 8 years now. It never dies. I've hit my life limit with talking with Aaron Rodgers. All right.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, man. Good seeing you, Dan. Tell those jerks I said hi. All right.
Hey, jerks. Chris says hi. Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, and his podcast Unbuttoned.